And good morning, this is Dr. Cathy, and I'm excited to present to you today a class on essential oils and spirituality. And I'm going to go ahead and switch to, this is just so people who don't know me, they can see my gorgeous visage, But now we're going to switch to sharing the screen so that you can see the slides that I have. There we go. Essential oils for spiritual balance and growth. Now I'm going to give a little instruction on spirituality first, because it's real important that people realize the difference between spirituality and religion. So often people will equate religion and spirituality together, and that's not necessarily true. I would hope that people who are religious, which means that they have ritual, dogma, teachings, like I come from the Catholic tradition, there is definitely ritual, there's dogma, there's teachings, that's the religion that's there. But that doesn't necessarily mean that people connect spiritually with it. Spirituality goes into that deepest part of yourself. You don't need religion to take you there. It's that part that has you loving people. It has the part that brings you into a place of deep inner peace. It's the part that when you look at the sunset, or like last night when I was coming out of my meditation group and I looked up in the sky and the stars, you see stars in Sedona, let me tell you, and the stars were just amazing. It brought me to a place of moving my energy outside of myself into this exquisite knowing that there is someone beyond me. And so that spirituality does that. And religion doesn't necessarily do that. Our hope is that it does do that. It does bring you to that space within yourself and outside of yourself where you connect with, whether you want to call it the other or God or Jesus or Allah, whatever, it does that. So when you look at spirituality in the sense of how you live your life, it's about trust. It's the trust that you're taken care of, is that you are in the hands of this wonderful universal energy. You're in the hands of God, however you want to describe that. You trust that God's will is working in your life, that you, no matter what's happening, that if you just, in a sense, go with the flow and take action as you need to, that there is someone there to support you. Spirituality is also about striving to live a life of love. Now, when I talk about a life of love, I'm not speaking of emotion. I'm not speaking of romantic love. We had a session on how to enhance the romantic aspect of our lives. I'm not speaking about that. I'm speaking about this deep experience within you in which you are willing to be of service to others, whether it's your children, whether it's your partner, whether it's opening the door for someone that's coming into the grocery store at the same time that you are. Trying to make those decisions for yourself, even politically, driving in the car, that sort of thing, that is based upon a sense of understanding that there are other people in the world with you, and you want to also do the best for them as you live your own life. Spirituality is also about living a life of balance. And when I talk about a life of balance, many people will think automatically, well, you want to balance your work life, your play life, and your home life together. Spiritual people also want to balance what is going on inside of them in regards to their spiritual connection. And when your life is in balance, then you are in a place of deeper peace. You are in that place that has a contentment that is really difficult for people to understand who have never experienced that before. When you're in a place with spirituality, you are also living your truth. You stand and speak your truth to those who need to hear your truth. And when you need to do that, you make decisions in your life, be it about work, be it about conversations with other people, based upon what your inner truth is. So for instance, somebody may say, well, let's just go ahead and sneak into the movie theater. It's real easy to do. Let me show you how to do it. A spiritual person would go, that's not for me. That's not where I am. Everybody deserves remuneration for what it is that they do in life, their creative genius. You do it not so much. You say that not to appear better than anyone, but because you truly believe that doing that would be stealing, taking away from the other. Then there's detachment. That's one that I kind of struggle with, especially in our political atmosphere here in the United States, of detaching from other people's views, because there are people that I love and I respect who have very different political views from me, and I don't understand them. Detachment, though, is loving them as they are, accepting them as they are, and realizing that we're just different. It's also a detachment from the cares of the world. Yes, money is really important. Yes, you want a place to live. Yes, you need transportation. But also being able to detach from the pain and suffering that has happened in your life than it has happened in the world. And when I talk about detachment, I'm talking about staying in balance. I'm talking about not being thrown off emotionally about what has happened around you or even to you or within you. So those are some brief ideas about what spirituality is about. You can write books on all of them. In fact, you can go Google and you'll find it. So when you're in a place of spiritual growth where you are connected to the other, to God, to all that is, to universal energy, you'll experience a deep peace. You'll also experience a sense of freedom because you know that you have the freedom within you to be whomever you wish to be. You're not tied down. That's where detachment comes in. You're not tied down by the cares of the world. Also with spiritual growth, the deeper that you go into a spiritual understanding, the deeper you connect with that sense of all that is, of love, of God, of Jesus, whatever name that you use, you begin to feel more you. You feel you in that connection, the connectedness that you have. And it really is a sense of going, wow, I really do. It's like I know myself better than I've ever known. And of course, you have that desire to connect with God. You want to have more of that. It's like I was starting today and I had to do the last few slides on this presentation. And I have something else that I have to get out today. And I started doing it. And then there's this little voice in me that said, you didn't sit down like you have made a commitment to do just for 5 minutes and send your energy out into the world, inviting those who could benefit from what you say and do. And that's the healing work and the metaphysical work and the oils, to come and join you. And so usually I stop, but I've really made this something important in my life, and I just turned things off and sat for a few minutes, sending my energy out and inviting people to come. And it was connecting with God while that I did that. So there's just this continual desire to connect with God, to come to know more of who God is. In fact, Albert Einstein, he one time said, all I want, notice the all I want is to know the mind of God. And that's an amazing statement from a physicist. The other thing is that there's joy. Many people make the mistake of thinking that joy is an emotion. Joy is not an emotion. Emotions change. They go up and down. Joy is a state of being. You can be in a place of joy when you're in the midst of waiting for someone you love dearly to die. You can be in a place of joy when you're ill. You can be in a place of joy when all these things are happening around you. because joy is that deep inner knowing of who you are, who you're connected to. And there is this sense of lightness, no matter what's going on. I call it sometimes that experience, a bittersweet experience. The bitterness is what's happening. I was really thinking about this. It was years ago. I guess he would be 40 now. But when the first grandchild in my parents' family, he only lived 11 weeks. And how difficult that was. But the bitterness was the pain for me. But the sweetness was that experience of joy of having gotten to know Judd for even those 11 weeks. So those also have an impact upon you. Now, another thing about spiritual growth is when you decide that you are going to discover that spiritual aspect of yourself and you're going to do what you can, whether it's getting a coach, whether it's going to any religious type ceremony, whether it's to engage in meditation, you're going to discover that emotional pain comes up and it can be healed. You don't have to hold on to it. And in fact, spiritual growth will give you the strength and the courage to let go. And that's a freedom. It's a freedom to be able to let go from the pains of the world and not have them sit with you. It's a freedom to be able to see some of the most difficult parts of your life and to say, I don't need them. I don't need to hold on to them. And we already talked about the yearning for connection through prayer and meditation that occurs in spiritual growth. It's like the more you grow in that area, the more you want to know, the more you want to be connected. And I don't think I wrote this anywhere, but spiritual growth also brings you to a different awareness of who others are. You begin to have a compassion for people in their journey. And sometimes that compassion is a compassion that you know that they don't know how amazing and wonderful they are in the midst of doing horrendous things to people. But every one of us is from God. Every one of us was created by God, and we were created from the only substance that God had, which was love, because that's all God is. So you're getting my personal beliefs in this as we talk. So when you're able then to have the freedom to let go of the pain, to detach from what people say and do, and then to be able to see and experience the blessedness they have within them. It's like wanting to get to know that even more and to go into that place of connection. So herbs for spiritual growth are an ancient tradition. You can read about them probably in any spiritual tradition. I know it's in the Christian Bible, Jewish Christian Bible. I know that it's in there. And they talk about it in writings from ancient Rome, Greece, Egypt. It is there in the Eastern world. And herbs are often used in infusions, which are tea. They can provide altered states of consciousness. You'll hear about people who will eat the magic mushroom so that they can go into these altered states. And they also used them to distill for oils. Now, what they did 2,000 years ago was a little different than the way that we distilled for oils now, but that's a whole different presentation. But I just want you to know that this is ancient stuff that we're talking about, or using herbs and oils to grow in a spiritual way. And this happens because certain substances raise your vibration. So let's think about something that lowers your vibration. You're listening to the news. If you're still listening to the news, you listen to the news and you hear about the latest mayhem that is going on. Excuse me. It brings your vibration down. You go into fear or worry, and it brings your vibration down. Certain oils will actually allow you to raise your vibration so that you can detach from the pain of what you're hearing, that you can let go of what's happening and to forgive. And as your vibration rises, you can also go into a place of gratitude, which is an amazing place to be, that no matter whatever happens, and this is part of the trusting in God, that no matter what happens, God has things in control. And so raising your vibration will assist you in doing this. Now, I did a lot of study of going through and went through the internet and I made use of other people's knowledge, right? And went through for a series of oils, and there are many more out there than what we have, but I'm going to talk about the oils and their properties. And then instead of having specific formulas, remember we're working on the roller balls, how to work with those. Instead of having specific formulas, I've left it blank, and we're going to do that here based upon the vibration of the group energy that we have right here. So, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. All right, so first, to release what you no longer need. Forgiveness is the way that you do that. When we release what we no longer need, we're usually holding on to the pain. It could have been when the teacher made fun of us when we were in third grade. It could be when your first boyfriend or girlfriend said they didn't want to be with you anymore. It could be anything. Could be something somebody did to you. You know, whenever we complain about somebody doing something to us, that puts us in a place of victim consciousness, which means that when somebody else did something and they have control over us, we can't move forward in our life. So in order to get that other person off of us, even though they're not there, but that energy off of us, we have to let that go. And we let that go by forgiveness of others. And guess what? Forgiveness of ourselves. I bet I could open up this line and ask each one of you, what things do you still hold against yourself for doing or not doing? And I would lay you odds that everybody here has more than one thing that they're still holding on to. So releasing what you no longer need is also about yourself, forgiving yourself, letting go of those things within yourself, taking what you learned from that experience, because you did learn something, having the courage to look at the experience again and discovering what it is that you learned. And this will help you grow spiritually tremendously. So, how come it's not going? Okay, there we go. So now I'm using, because I'm a wellness advocate for doTERRA, I'm using doTERRA oils and talking about that. And I've got 3 blends that I want to talk to you about and share with you what they do. So the ultimate letting go is forgiveness. And there is a blend that doTERRA has put together. They have amazing chemists, and one blend is called Forgive. So one of the things that you use Forgive for is that you can diffuse it throughout meditation when you're meditating. And that helps you release. Even if you don't refuse it, you can put it on your oils. You can put it on a roller ball with other things and put it on you. But what it does, it helps you release those feelings that you're holding on to, and especially anger and guilt. That'll help you do that. Now the pulse points are here, and on your neck. So those are 4 areas that you can use, and it will go throughout your body. And when you put them on a roller ball put together, you can take Forgive and not put anything else in it except, 20 drops of Forgive and fill the rest of the roller ball with fractionated coconut oil. And remember what we said is that sometimes it seems like it gets stronger. It's the homeopathic aspect of it. Now you can also use Forgive to counteract negative emotions that arise. Now think about that spiritually. When we have negative emotions, I'll give you an example. On Thursday I was going somewhere and I had to wait. There's a left turn lane, and they had a lane right down the center where you could turn right or left, and there were cars coming. Now there were a few gaps, but I would have had to really drive like a Houstonian, and believe me, I know how to drive like a Houstonian, where you slip into those car gaps, but I chose not to do that. And there was another car behind me that started honking at me. I got really irritated. I don't know if it was a him or if it was a her. I have no idea. I was really tempted to get out of the car and say, oh, did you find something wrong with my car that you're trying to warn me about? Because there would be no reason for you to honk at me since there are all of these cars coming. And instead, I didn't do that, which was probably smart. But the thing is, I held on to it. It's like, how can you be that way to, there's cars coming. Why did you want me to get hit? Not understanding that. Well, when those emotions come up, if you have forgive, you can put that on. Notice I didn't say forgiveness. I said forgive. And you can put that on and it can lift your vibration and help you to let go of that. There's a misunderstanding. Somebody says something to you, probably like the guy honking the horn. Don't hold on to that. Release that. And if you know something will help you to release, I take deep breaths, put on forgive or another oil that you have, and just relax and to let it go. That assists you in coming to a deeper understanding of yourself and opening your heart up to a greater spiritual awareness. The more you're able to let go of these things, the more you practice it, the faster it occurs. So the other thing is keeping life in balance. And doTERRA has an essential oil known as balance. Think about your life right now. In balance or out of balance? Do you feel stressed? If you feel stressed, that's called out of balance. You're upset, that's out of balance. What do you need to bring your life into balance? Do you need to be on social media less? Do you need to watch less TV? Do you need to spend more time just being quiet, walking outside? Some of you are not in a place where you can walk outside right now with rain, and I think in the Northeast they're having a lot of snow. But what can you do to bring yourself in balance? The oils in the proprietary blend called Balance assists in raising your vibration and bringing it into balance so that you can make good decisions for that. You come on with some tranquility to just relax. Again, you can put it on the wrist and the neck, which can help ease the anxious feelings that you have, to ease the nervousness that you have. You can use it for there, or you can put it on a roller bar. You can diffuse it. And so think about that when you're having those feelings, your heart's pounding, your stomach's clenched, take a deep breath and you can put on an oil such as Balance. And there are individual oils that will help, but that will assist you also. Now, this is a big one for me, is inner peace. That's that place within you that when, no matter what's happening within you, you feel that peace. You can go back deep inside of your heart and the world can be in chaos and yet you feel a peace. And some people may think you're really strange because you're feeling peace. That peace is a sign of that spiritual connection. It's a sign of being right there with Spirit, with God, and knowing that things are okay. Inner peace means that you're in a place of trusting no matter what's going on. So again, you can use the blend for peace, and it helps promote peace. It raises your vibration in that way to bring reassurance. It's kind of like being wrapped, like somebody saying, it's okay, Cathy, everything's going to be okay, and feeling content inside of yourself. And it does. It counteracts fear and nervousness just the way it acts upon the body and the different sections of the body that it acts upon. Now, I want to talk about some specific individual oils. Now, when I did the research for there was one oil I'm not going to cover is rose. And that's because it's as expensive as all get out, for one thing. There are people that sell little bitty bits of it for $100 or something like that. doTERRA does have what's called a rose touch, which means that it's diluted with some fractionated coconut oil. Remember, it works just as well. but I decided to leave that out in this discussion. And I'm going to go just through these things that I found and show you the differences. And then after I go through all of those, I'm going to take those oils and we're going to do muscle testing right here. And those of you who do it, I'd like you to do your own and let's see how that turns out. So the first two I want to talk about is frankincense and myrrh. Now from the Christian tradition, those of you who are, you know that the wise men brought to the child Jesus gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now frankincense, and myrrh both have been used for thousands of years, well beyond Christ, the time that Jesus came. So with frankincense, think of it as protection. Now, when we talk about protection, we're talking about energetic protection also. Emotions, feelings, they're made up of energy. So feelings are made up of energy, emotions, energy in motion. Those can come into your energy field. They can come into your aura, that energy that is around your body, your electromagnetic field. And so frankincense can raise your vibration so that it strengthens your energy field and you have a protection from the emotions of others coming to you. Those of you who are empaths, and that means people who are very sensitive to the emotions of others, frankincense is an excellent oil to use individually. Frankincense also helps you to purify yourself. Yes, it can assist you in physical purification, but can also help you to release the low vibration energies that you're holding on to. It can open up your third eye so that you have spiritual insight. You can be able to ask yourself the question, well, how can I get closer to God? How am I responding and reacting in my life that is interfering with my life? And it can help you open that spiritual insight. Frankincense is also a grounding oil. That means you're fully in your body. If you ever had that experience where it's almost like your body's somewhere else, yes, you're there, and yes, it walks and it moves, but you can't really feel your body. That means you're not grounded. You're not in your body. To be able to handle things in your life, you need to be in your life, which means in your body, which means to be fully present. Frankincense also helps you to feel empowered. And I'm talking about an inner empowerment, not a physical empowerment. So even me, I'm not quite 5'2". I can be empowered on the emotional level. I can be empowered on the spiritual level. I can be empowered to speak my truth, to stand up for what I believe is right. That type of empowerment. Now we're going to go to myrrh. So now myrrh is an antioxidant that works with the body. It also is used in meditation, again, to help open the energy system. You can put it on your third eye, you can put it on your heart, and you can just feel an awakening in a sense, an opening. It also works, I found this interesting, it works on the hypothalamus, which is deep in your brain under a thing called the thalamus. That's why it's hypothalamus, hypo being under, that's in your brain. And it affects energies to keep you calm. It works with the limbic brain, which is the emotional brain. So it can actually open that up, help you to relax. Now, using it with the citrus oil, it helps to promote insight. So I found that fascinating with there. Now, notice that frankincense and myrrh have been used together for centuries for spiritual traditions. Now we're going to look at sandalwood and cedarwood. Sandalwood is, I love a sandalwood incense, and so here you have the oil. Now, one of the differences between an incense and an oil is many of the incenses you buy are actually chemically made. It doesn't necessarily have the oil that is there. Sandalwood is another protective oil, strengthens your energy field. It's another one that assists you in grounding. It's another one that assists in meditation. Look, I thought grounding was so important, I put it down twice. It works with both the crown and the root chakra. Now, let me tell you why that's important. When you're born, almost everyone, when you have a healthy being born, is that your crown chakra is open, top of your head, and your root chakra, coming right from the perineum. Those are the two that are open. The other chakras aren't open. All the chakras from the sacrum, from the pelvic area all the way to the third eye, those are all closed. So you're born with that connection to spirit and being rooted in your body. When those two are open, eventually the unfolding of all the other chakras occurs. And as you grow and develop as a little one, each one of those other chakras begins to open up. As an adult or someone who has all of their chakras open, when you open your crown chakra, that being connected to spirit, and your root chakra, what it does is it keeps you connected to spirit and in your body at the same time. You know, some people will talk about spiritual people as being airheads. And what they mean by airheads is someone who just seems to be out here, airy-fairy type of thing. To have your root chakra open and to be grounded means that you are going to be able to handle the experiences of your life in a much easier manner and a more complete manner because you're connected both spiritually and in your body. So cedarwood, that works with helping in healing. It purifies the aura, that electromagnetic field around you. It purifies, see, I can't even see all of my cheat sheet here. Excuse me. Let's move that. It purifies the emotional body. It helps bring to you peace and calmness. And it helps you to come to your true self. Remember what we talked about in spiritual growth is that you come to know who it is that you truly are. Can you imagine putting some of these together and developing a blend for that? That's what this is about, right? So now we're going to spikenard and ylang ylang. Again, going from the Christian tradition. That's my tradition, so that's where I come from. Spikenard is the oil that was put up on the feet of Jesus. Now think about this. It was emotional healing. It helps to purify the soul. Now we're talking about energetically. It works on you energetically. It raises your vibration, so it assists you in being able to let go, to forgive. It releases fears, again, by raising your vibration. It helps you to come into your heart again. When you are fully in your heart, there isn't any fear there. So when you're fully there, when Jesus' feet were being soothed with the spikenard, it was shortly before his death. And we assume in the Christian tradition that he knew what was coming. And so this would help to release fears, to bring calmness, to bring hope, courage, and to bring balance. Think about that in your own life. It's a powerful oil used just by itself, raising your vibration so that you can be in a place of knowing who you are, heal emotionally, feel cleansed within yourself, being able to let go, and just to be calm and peaceful. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Don't we all have troubles with that at different times? Then there's ylang ylang. We talked about ylang ylang a lot. We talked about several of these oils in our last session. Now, one of the things that's important about ylang ylang is that it integrates the masculine and feminine. Many people don't realize that we each have masculine and feminine nature within us. When we act totally out of our masculine side, that's a proactive side, or we act totally out of our feminine side, which is a passive side. And passive doesn't always mean, is not always a negative word, because it is those of you who are mothers who have held that child growing in your womb. You're passive in that. You're the vessel for that. All the activity is going on without you doing anything, right? It's there. So being passive in the spiritual sense also means that you are allowing the nurturing and the growth to occur inside. You're not doing anything to counteract it. All right, so when you integrate the masculine and feminine in yourself, you're balanced. You have that balance between needing to be proactive and that balance in needing to sit back and allow things to happen. So that balance is important. Now, in our society, which is basically a patriarchal society, is that those of us in the metaphysical tradition talk about the feminine energies coming into the planet to assist us in bringing balance to our masculine and feminine. And so we need to integrate that energy, and Ylang Ylang assists us in doing that. It also assists us in being centered. Exactly what I talked about earlier about having opened the crown and the root chakras. So you can be centered, and then it calms and balances the body-mind. When your mind is calm, your body will respond with calmness also. So now let's look at chamomile and eucalyptus. So chamomile, have any of y'all drunk chamomile tea? I've used that for years. And it was introduced to me before I knew about herbs and oils, and they just said, here, try this tea. It's an herb. It'll help you calm down. And it will. I remember a friend of mine, you'll love this story. I remember a friend of mine, she was just having a really tough time. And some friends that she was with gave her some chamomile tea. They were from Mexico, by the way. And they said, it'll help you relax. And it did help her relax, except that she was up going to the bathroom at night because it also can be a mild diuretic. So, but it did help her relax. Chamomile also soothes your body's energy. Now, when we're talking about the energy, we're talking about chi. That's another way of saying it, or prana. It's the energy around your body, and it assists you in just relaxing that, which means, of course, you end up being calm. And then there's eucalyptus. You know that sense of melancholy? You may have a lot of sadness that's with there that you can't really put your fingers on. And eucalyptus can help dissolve that for you. Eucalyptus assists the lungs also. Now think about the symbolism of being able to breathe. First of all, it's life, correct? And when you breathe in life, you are absorbing it into your body. You're accepting it fully, and that's what eucalyptus does. It helps you to breathe in life. When you breathe in life, it also opens you up to life, to possibilities, to excitement. So eucalyptus can assist you in doing that, and it enhances positive feelings. Now, as we go through, I keep saying this, but notice this, as we go through, notice the qualities that are here. Some of them are not in others. So when you make blends, then that will help tremendously. Now, lavender and lemon, those are two favorites that can do so much. You know about lavender. We went over that last time, but think of it, it's calming. It supports the heart energy. Now, we're talking about in the heart chakra. It supports that ability to be open and to open yourself up to other people, to yourself. We concentrate on being open to others. We need to be open to ourselves, to love ourselves. And one of the things I didn't know until I started doing this research is that when we're open to ourselves and we're open to what's happening in life, it releases creative energy. So those of you who are writers, who are artists, who work on projects, that's creative also, who are developing those things. A little lavender can go a long way in just allowing you to calm, relax, and open up what we often call the third eye in metaphysics. And then lemon, which is a wonderful oil, and how many people enjoy lemon? It's one of my favorites. It helps to clarify your mind. Think about when you smell it. You can just put a few drops and you'll feel a clarity in your mind coming, which means you're able to make better decisions, which means you're able to see possibilities. It relieves the worries. When you're able to be calmer, the worries relax, they kind of go away. Again, it opens the heart. So lavender and lemon would increase that ability to open the heart. And this one was interesting because when you open your heart, it releases the fear of emotional involvement. So let's say you've just come out of, it can either be breaking up with your partner or even a good friend. I got an email not too long ago from somebody who a friendship ended over something. And when you're hurt like that, you can become afraid of entering into another relationship, of loving someone else. And this will, lemon, just by itself, will assist in opening you up so that fear disappears. And orange, we use wild orange. We also have bergamot, which is another type of orange. So I just using orange in general. It can be uplifting. It can get your energy moving. It can, where you feel like you're more energetic. The chi energy, which is that prana, that energy that flows through your body, it can help to unlock that also. And then patchouli, again, lifts your spirits, calms and stimulates. Isn't that interesting? Calms and stimulates. That's balance when you have both, to be calm and to be stimulated at the same time. If you're too calm, you don't move, right? If you're too stimulated, you can't concentrate. You're too far up. So it brings you into balance. Again, it strengthens your energy. So orange unblocks it and patchouli strengthens it. It helps you to come into harmony. And again, it's another grounding oil. Now I have two more I want to go through, and then we're going to have some fun. Rosemary. Now, before I moved to Sedona, I had smelled rosemary trees. Looks like they're not trees, they're bushes. Looks like kind of a fir tree in a sense. It is everywhere in Sedona. It is used as a primary landscaping bush. And I love to go and just kind of, I asked the bush if I can just kind of bruise its little leaves just a little bit and smell it. Scientists are discovering that rosemary assists with, are you ready? Memory. For those of you that maybe get a little fuzzy head and think you're not remembering things, rosemary is an excellent, excellent oil to have. It also builds, the vibration of it helps to build self-confidence, helps you to be dedicated and committed to what it is that you want to do in life. And at the same time, as it helps you to move outward in that sense with self-confidence, it helps you to become more introspective. That's where balance comes from. Another oil that improves the circulation of the energy around you. When we talk about the circulation of the chi, we're also talking about working with the meridians, because that's really through the meridians and through the chakras is where that chi energy is circulated. And then it assists in inspiration. When you combine introspection and inspiration, that's a powerful combination. Now think back to releasing creativity. You're beginning to see how you can take some of these characteristics and move them together. Then there's tea tree oil, also known as melaleuca. Now what's interesting about this oil is that I had only known about this oil for bites, getting mosquito bites or bee sting or something like that, or for running into poison ivy, of using that to help clear that. I had no idea of its emotional and spiritual attributes. How easy are you able to adapt to change? Do you resist change? Even little change. I made a new friend the other day, and we were talking about getting together again. And she said, I'm a very spontaneous person, so if you decide that you're going to go hiking, give me a call. And I laughed. I said, I'm not that spontaneous. I said, but if you call me, what I have to do is do this internal movement inside of me. I mean, it is like having to move a boulder, or I have to go, because my first thing, oh no, I have too much to do. And then I have to stop and go, oh, look at my schedule. Well, I could rearrange. Oh yeah, okay, I can go. Using tea tree can assist in becoming more adaptable to the changes that are happening in your life. If you're on a spiritual path, you better be adaptable. Because when you start growing spiritually, let me tell you, all kinds of things start changing in your life. And it can be overwhelming at times. Another one that brings confidence. Now notice the difference between the description of rosemary and tea tree. And by the way, I got these descriptions of these two from the exact same source. And one says self-confidence, and the other says confidence of the soul. That's deeper, that confidence of the soul. So how I'm interpreting that is self-confidence, as in rosemary, is almost emotional self-confidence. But the tea tree, the confidence of the soul, is a spiritual oil that assists you in knowing to the deepest part of yourself that you would have confidence that what you don't know, that you'll come to know, that you'll have confidence that you will be taken care of, that you have the confidence that allows you to be able to trust. Now, tea tree is also known to clear mental fatigue, and although that wasn't listed under rosemary's, what I know about what the researchers are doing and finding that rosemary assists memory, well, that would clear mental fatigue. And then tea tree uplifts the spirits. Now, what I'm going to show you, these are the oils that we have. Let me move this out of the way a little bit more. These are the oils that we have right here. These are the ones that I went over. And I actually have them somewhere else because I have to go back and forth to them. Well, I'll just move back and forth because I don't have it side by side where I can show you how we're doing. I know what we could do. Fatima, would you record this for me by pen and paper or on your computer? And then I'll unmute you. Make her work, don't you think? So when you're making blends, use the oils you have on hand. Now, I don't have all of these on hand, but I have almost all of them on hand. I'm going to go through this, and I need to make my order, get my order set for this next month, and I'm going to look and see what I don't have and order some of those so that I have a wider range of when to select, of what to select oils from. Now, let me show you. We'll go back and forth with this. Let's make a blend for spiritual growth, all right? Now, I'm going to use the group energy. Now, what I'm going to do, and I don't know, I think most of you on here know that I do distance healing, and I do group distance healing. So I tap into the group energy and do the healing work. I use muscle testing on what is needed for that group. Now, it's not just the group that's on the call. I send my consciousness and say, I would like to tap into the group energy of anyone who will listen to this call. And I trust that that is the energy that is going to be coming. So I'm setting that intention now. And we're going to be using spiritual growth. So I'm tapping into the energy of developing a blend for spiritual growth for the people here. Now, notice I have the 3 oils. Let me put this, I have the 3 oils that are already blends. And I just have them all listed here. There's 3 columns. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to muscle test asking, am I connected to the group energy? I get a yes. And is it appropriate? Yes. And so I'm setting my intention to set a blend for anyone here for spiritual growth. And I get, yes, we can do that. So I just like to get some of these things settled beforehand. Is how many oils on here am I going to use? Now, I'm getting this thought in my head that says 5. So I'm going to ask, is it 5 and only 5 oils? And I get yes. All right. So is there one in the first column? No. In the second column, yes. Chamomile is the very first one. And I'm going to ask how many drops? Yes. Is it less than 10? No. Is it 10 and only 10? No. 10 to 15? Yes. 11 and only 11, 12. 12 drops of chamomile. Are there any more in this column? Yes. Is it eucalyptus? Is it lavender? It's lemon. How many drops of lemon? I got, my intuition said 3. I'm going to check. Is it 3 drops? Yes. 3 drops of lemon. Anything else in there? No. Well, remember I said I got 5. That means only one of these on that far right column is not going to be used. Rosemary, yes. How many drops of rosemary? Less than 10, yes. Less than 5, yes. 4 and only 4. It's 4 and only 4 drops of rosemary. Tea tree, yes. 1 to 5. Is it 5 and only 5 drops of tea tree? No ylang ylang, and myrrh is the last one. I get 10. Let me double check. Is it 10 and only 10 drops of myrrh? 10 and only 10 drops of myrrh. Fatima, I'm unmuting you.
Okay.
Could you give everybody the formula so that y'all can write it down, please?
12 drops of chamomile, 3 drops of lemon, 4 drops of rosemary, 5 drops of melaleuca, and 10 drops of myrrh. I didn't see frankincense on your list. Was frankincense on that list?
Oh, was frankincense? I left frankincense off? Thanks for letting me know. Let me look.
I just thought of that.
Let me see, because that would have been a mix of that one to... I did. I left it off.
I just asked.
Always misspell it. C-I-N?
K-I-N-C-E-N-S-E.
Okay, now that frankincense is on the list, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to say, does this change our formula? And I got yes. Do I need to eliminate any? No, but I can add frankincense. And frankincense would be how many drops? 8 drops of frankincense. So I'll have this down for everybody and I'll get it all fixed up. So that is from our group energy. That's a very fascinating combination. So just to show you, think about like 12 was the most of the chamomile. Let me find that. Let's just go back and look at chamomile. Soothing, relaxing, soothes the body's energy and calmness, right? Lemon, clarity of mind, relieves worries, opens the heart, releases fear of emotional involvement. I don't think we had any in here. Rosemary, self-confidence, dedication, introspection, improves circulation of the chi, assist in inspiration. Tea tree, adaptability, confidence of the soul, clears mental fatigue, uplifts the spirit. What did I leave out?
Myrrh.
I think that one's up here.
It's at the very beginning.
Very beginning. Antioxidant used in meditation, affects the hypothalamus, the limbic brain. When used with the citrus oil, which lemon is, promotes insight. And of course, frankincense, protection, purification, spiritual insight, grounds, and UN empowerment. And that one was for spiritual growth. Think about that. The next one, I've got 3 of them that I thought we would use. Openness to God's healing love. Seems like we all need that. So I'm going to ask again, same questions. I want to get yeses on everything. And I'm going to ask how many oils, and I'm getting 4. Any of the blends already there? Yes. Is it that one? That one? The blend is peace that we're going to use. And how many drops? 20 drops. Any more in that line? No. Second line. Orange. We use, I'm going to just ask, is it wild orange? We use wild orange. And it's going to be 5 and only 5 drops. Patchouli is the next one. 3 drops of patchouli. Ylang ylang is the next. 4 drops of ylang ylang. Okay, so let's write this down. Okay, if you'll give me what we said.
Sure. 20 drops of peace.
Okay.
5 drops of wild orange. 3 drops of patchouli.
I'm just going to put PAT, figure it out later.
4 drops of ylang ylang.
For some reason, I remember how to spell that one just because I think it's fun to say. All right, so now we've got ylang ylang, orange, patchouli, and peace. So let's see. Let's look at, here's orange and patchouli together. So orange is uplifting. Remember, this is accepting God's healing love. Uplifting increases energy level, unblocks the chi. Patchouli lifts the spirit, calms and stimulates, brings balance, strengthens the chi, harmony to the mind. And what else?
Patchouli, ylang ylang.
Where's ylang ylang? There it is. Integrates the masculine and feminine, integrates the divine feminine, centers, calms, and balances the body mind. And then peace was the last one, correct?
Right.
And that one brings inner peace. Whoops, yeah. Promotes peace, reassurance, and contentment, counteracts fear and nervousness. Kind of cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the next one. Now this is what we call an ascension blend. Now people who are involved in metaphysics are really, they're very familiar with ascension. So the ascension is where our vibration rises to such a point that we are able to move into a spiritual place, which means that we've basically learned all we need to learn on this planet and that we don't have to come back. But it's a high level of moving into a spiritual area. And this is, I've wanted to create this one for a long time. So it's fun for me to do. I thought, I'm going to do it here. So how many oils are we going to use that's from this list? Now remember, if you have another list, or even if you only have these right here in that first column. And so I'm going to ask from this list, how many oils? And I'm getting 7. That's a lot. So first one is the blend forgive. How many drops? 8 drops of forgive. Sandalwood. 4 drops of sandalwood. Spikenard. 3 drops of spikenard. Patchouli. 6 drops of patchouli. How many is that, Fatima?
That's 4 oils so far.
So 3 more?
Mm-hmm.
And we have 5 left. It's interesting. It wants me to go right down to frankincense. And that's 10 drops of frankincense. 5 drops of myrrh. 6 drops of ylang ylang. Is that all of it?
That's 7 oils, yeah.
Okay, so let me go down here, write this in. This is fun. I hope y'all are having fun. I'm having a blast. Okay, go to it.
Okay, forgive, 8 drops. Sandalwood, 4 drops. Three drops of spikenard.
Okay.
6 drops of patchouli.
Okay.
10 drops of frankincense.
Okay.
5 drops of myrrh.
Okay.
And 6 drops of ylang ylang.
Okay. So now there's 4 oils that I see in here that I have heard about for ages that are very spiritual oils. Sandalwood, spikenard, frankincense, and myrrh. Now, of course, forgive is always something. So keep me on track as I go through these, okay, Fatima?
Mm-hmm.
Let me find Okay, now Forgive has a number. Let me show you something else. I'm going to the doTERRA site. Somewhere in here is the doTERRA site. Well, we'll just bring it up myself. I may have deleted it because I know how to get to that one real easy. And what I want to show you is the oils that are in the blends. And there will be oils, I think I mentioned this last time, there will be oils that are in the blends that are not in, that you cannot get as single oils. And that's what I want to show you right now. Y'all can see my screen, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. It's coming, folks. Those of you on the
Okay.
Here's the Forgive.
Spruce leaf. So the leaf of the spruce plant, bergamot peel, juniper berry fruit, myrrh resin, arbor vitae wood, another wood called Nootka, the leaf of thyme leaf, and citronella herb. So it's got stuff in there that, yeah, I wouldn't be able to, except for 3 that we could get individually.
And so notice that myrrh is in there, which we're also adding more. So it's increasing the qualities of myrrh. I'm not going to go through every one of them like I did before because you can look that up, but let's go to myrrh. So when I did the muscle testing, and remember, this isn't scientific doing the muscle testing. So a scientist may say, well, you need to look at the chemistry and this and that and the other. Well, I'm not a chemist. So this is how I do it. So look at myrrh. We know that it's an antioxidant. It's used in meditation. It works on the hypothalamus, which is in the limbic brain. And with the citrus oil, it helps to promote insight. Now, did you notice that they use a citrus oil in the Forgive blend?
Right.
Correct? So
right.
when you're looking at that combination, this isn't 1 + 1 is 2. This is 1 + 1 is 5. I mean, not really, but that synergistic example. So that is what you can do. Now, what you do is you get a 10 milliliter roller ball. You drop in that amount of oils. You just drop in each drop, and then you fill it with fractionated coconut oil would be fine. Almond oil would be fine. Avocado oil would be fine. What's another one? Not olive oil. I said avocado, right? Not olive oil. Those are the ones that I know the best. Do you know of any other oils that people might use?
Those are the ones I use. Olive, avocado, almond, and fractionated coconut oil is the best for me because it's so smooth.
Yeah. So you drop it in there, put the cap on it, shake it, and hold it against your heart. And so although we developed these particular blends for this group energy, that means you're in it. If you know how to muscle test, you can also ask, do I need to change this in any way for myself? So this is your base formula and for yourself. So when somebody said, can I get an oil blend for psoriasis? And so I went online and I looked up some basic blends that people use for psoriasis, muscle tested to see which was the best one for this person, and then asked what changes I needed to make. Do I need to leave out anything? Do I need to change the number of drops to anything? Do I need to add anything? And I did. I needed to add one other oil, and I needed to change the number of drops. And so it's the proportion, and the proportion has the vibration in it. So you can go back and change, but then hold it into your heart and ask the oil, just please align your vibration with my vibration for my highest good. Okay? So that's what I have for you today. Again, I want to tell you that if you are interested in the oils, either as a business enterprise or simply because you are going to use this and you're healing consistently, I have not. I have my little formula for my immune system. I got the basic formula off the internet, and then I developed it for my own, and I've been around people who have been sick, and I haven't had any problems. And my system before gets respiratory issues often, which says to me as a mind-body person is that I have grief issues, which I do. And so that's been helping me with that. So if you join doTERRA, it's not just as a business, but it's a way to get your oils at a discount. And in addition is that if you're really going, okay, I'm going to use this for my whole body, I'm feeling down, and you know how to do muscle testing, or you can just look something up. You have a wide range of oils that you can select from I have a huge box of them that I have, and I keep looking to increase that, is that you can say, what do I need to put on? What do I need to diffuse? What do I need to put in a roller ball and use consistently? And you can get those at a discount if you sign up for the wholesale kit. And in addition, if you actually buy one of these kits, and there's a number of kits that are here, these aren't the only ones, but if you buy one of the kits, you don't even have to pay the $35 fee to become a member. And then you have access to all of the training, everything that is in there, if you choose to be a wellness advocate, which means that you perhaps want to do this with your, for a business in line, is that we have a tremendous upline with lots of training, and you would get group healing from me once a month as we balance the things that are inhibiting our being able to bring some financial abundance into our life. And some people do it just so that they can pay for their oils that month. And then there are some people that do it big time and make lots of money. For me, I'm basically in it to see what happens, because something's happened with me as I've used it, and I want to share it. It's right in line with my whole mode of healing. So I give you those wonderful things, and if you are interested, please contact me and we can work it out. And yes, it's in Canada too. So let me know. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I certainly enjoyed it. I enjoy doing all the research of it. And I know we have one more scheduled, and I honestly do not remember what the topic is, but I'll look it on the email and you'll get it on the email. Teresa, do I see you trying to raise your hand?
Hi, can I ask a question, Cathy?
You can. Let's see if I can answer it. If not, maybe Fatima can answer it.
All right. Well, I was just, I thought it was interesting that you made a blend for the group energy, and I just wanted to know, what is the different beneficial of using the group blend as opposed to a personal blend, which we would think that is even more targeted to your personal needs?
That's a good question. So a group blend allows people who don't know how to do the muscle testing and things like that to be able to use that group blend and then align it to their energy with the heart. It would be like me getting something off of Pinterest and saying, this is what you use for this and this, and then, how I told you that I then take it and then I ask for personalization in a sense.
Oh, okay.
Now you could individually go through that list of oils that we had, or even the ones that you had on hand, and just develop a blend from there.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we just did it, got that whole thing. The group blend allows you to start off from a basis. And for some people, it gives them confidence.
Right.
And so that's the difference.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. What is that pink thing, that little bubble that with the white big lid next to the blue box? What is that? Is that a diffuser?
This right here, this is a diffuser.
Oh, so you can also put it in the room, basically.
Basically, you can. Now, you would need to be careful because of Amy. Amy's her rabbit. You need to be careful, and you can go online, find vets that use essential oils, and be sure that they're safe for rabbits. Another thing that people say is that if you have pets, it's like, I don't diffuse them. There are some that I could use with frick and frack. I live in an efficiency, so it's all one room. Some people will say you can use any oil as long as your animal can get out into another room. Well, since mine can't, I'm just very careful, although I'm pretty sure that I can use Serenity, which brings calm with the animals, because I've been online with several groups that I'm in, and they'll say, oh, my dog loves Serenity, just to keep them calm. So you just need to be careful of that. But go online and look up vets who use oils.
Yeah. Have you tried it on your frequent frac otherwise?
I give them a little, Fatima, how do you spell what I call copaiba?
Copaiba, yeah, it's
Copaiba.
Copaiba.
Copaiba?
Copaiba. You can say, some people say copaiba, some people say copaiba.
Okay.
But yeah, it's excellent. And I have a resource for a very trusted vet. And so I'll send you that.
Okay.
Because there's so much stuff online that, some people write about animals and oils, and I don't trust it. And so I will send you what I know to be true.
Thank you so much, because I have a little bunny who is not responding to antibiotics at the moment, and yeah, it would be great to have something natural that cannot harm her.
And see, there's some of the oils that we said, like frankincense is a great antibacterial, but I don't know if it's appropriate for bunnies. So the
You're so good with asking these questions. You're amazing, Cathy. You can work with animals too, I'm sure of it.
Well, when I'm working with the oils here, I'm sure that they're okay for humans. So I have that basis and trust in that. So when I would want to do with animals, I want to be sure that I have that information, because you got to be careful of the chemistry. Now the copaiba, I didn't today, but I will often put a drop in their food, because they have a spinal disorder, and this will help with pain.
Oh, you can put it in their food.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can do that. Now you don't want to put oils and I don't even know if oregano would be a good oil, but that's a very hot oil. I wouldn't just put a drop in their pain. This is what can happen when you don't know about oils. I'm giving myself as an example here. I had just started hearing about oils. This was years ago. I was just out of the convent, so it was probably about 20 years ago. I just started hearing about oils, and I was working with a naturopath. And I think he must have just been starting to hear about oils. And I had some kind of infection. And he said, all you need to do is to take you're going to be horrified at this, Fatima. Take a drop of oregano oil and put it under your tongue. Oregano is a very hot oil. I have not experienced, rarely have I experienced that kind of pain. One drop of oregano oil put a hole underneath my tongue about the size of half a dime. It burned me like crazy. What should have happened was, number one, I would not take it like that at all. I should have diluted it and applied, I could have put it on the bottom of my feet, but diluted it really well. It's a very hot oil. So there are people that will cook with these oils, and like an oil like oregano, they may not put a drop in it. They may actually put a toothpick in the bottle and put the toothpick in the food and stir it up to get the oil out like that. So, and I'm learning more and more about the chemistry of oils. So
one of the things you could do with oregano also, what I do is I put oregano in an empty vegetable capsule.
Ah, okay.
Because part of one of our protocols to get over, sneezing, coughing, those kinds of things is to put oregano and On Guard, and it's about 3 or 4 drops each. And so I put it in an empty vegetable capsule, and I take it 3 times a day, and I'm good then.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to learn about it. So if this interests you, even for your own use, and you'd like to become part of my team, just let me know. Because it can be a way to do alternative healing. I think I've told many of you, I haven't, well, except for Dad coming over when I had severe vertigo, I haven't seen a doctor in more than 20 years. I go to acupuncture, I'll do a naturopath, I do body talk, encodements, and now I do oils. If I broke my arm, I would also do oils, and I would go to the doctor and get it set.
Yep.
Well, of course.
Right. So there, you know, there's ways. I asked my acupuncturist one time if there was a way to take care of breaks in, you know, bones with acupuncture. She said, well, there is a way that in Chinese medicine that they can do that, but we're not equipped to do that here. So I'd just, you know, go there. And then I would probably, before I took their painkillers, I would do the copaiba
Right.
and use that for pain.
I look forward to hearing about the, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, because my screen is not lighting up. So, I would love to hear more about what we can do for animals because, as you know, it's of great interest. It's also very interesting for humans, though.
I'll get you, what, Fatima will send me that and I'll send that to you because that's not my forte at this point.
No, it will be the next.
So you can get that information. I'm gonna get on the same site and learn what to do with my little munchkins
Perfect. Yeah.
who are right now fast asleep next to me.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I want to thank each of you for being here. I am going to get this up on YouTube today. And I'm thinking back, and I think I did a good job of staying compliant, but I'll check one other thing, and then I'll get that up to YouTube, and y'all will, and I'll send you out an email.
This information is amazing, Cathy. Thank you so much.
Glad you have it. Blessings to each one of you. Fatima, do you have anything else to say?
Nope. Thank you so much, Cathy. This was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
All righty, y'all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.